Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to do a character tier list ranking for all of the House of the Dragon characters up until Season 2. So of course, Season 2 just recently ended, and we have a lot of new characters to talk about here. Also some characters from Season 1 that either died in Season 1 or just never returned, and we're just going to rank them on this tier list. Usually I just do these tier lists with S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier, but I decided to do something a little different here where I actually have the categories named. Just why not, just to have some fun, but they're kind of the same thing where it's S, B, A, B, C, D, and then I kind of have an F here, to be honest. So just a little bit more tiers than I usually do. We got the GOAT tier, which obviously these are the greatest of all time characters. There's going to be a couple of them for sure. I'm going to try to not put too many in there, but there's definitely going to be a decent amount. Next up is just extremely entertaining characters. These are ones I just absolutely love to watch. They're always amazing, but they don't quite get to that GOAT level. Then you got pretty good characters. They're just pretty good. Not much else to say there. The next ones, I don't really care about them. I know them well, but just don't really care. Then Who Are You is the tier of the characters that I don't recognize. And that's gonna happen. You know, it's just gonna happen. I decided for my own sake, if I don't recognize the character, there's no point of me going back trying to find out who that character was. If I don't remember them by their face, chances are I don't care about them. So to the point where I'm going to put them in that tier. But what's even worse than that would be characters that just blatantly suck, meaning I think they have just terrible character arcs. They're just terribly written. And I'm honestly not expecting to see many characters there, maybe even no characters at all. And as I always do with these tier rankings, this is not based on whether or not the characters are good or bad people. That would be the most boring way to do a tier ranking of all time. I'm never going to do a tier ranking like that because to me that's just uninteresting. So this is going to be purely based on how well written they are, how interesting they are, just how entertaining in general, how good the actor is in the role. All of these things matter. So let's get to it. I will say there's going to be some characters that I'm going to recognize their face. I'm just not going to recognize their name. Maybe I just forgot it, but it's not really that big of a deal. If I know who the character is, it's not the end of the world. There are also different versions of the same character here, whether it's different actors portraying them or, you know, because of the different age differences. We're just going to rank them separately because sometimes I like them a lot more as they're the older version, and sometimes I like them more when they're the younger version. So I think it's completely fine to rate them separately. So first things first, we have young Rhaenyra. Now, she obviously only had 5 episodes to show us who she is, and immediately right off the bat from episode 1, I thought she was fantastic. The way Viserys let her know in that episode that she is going to be the heir, and it was such a beautiful moment at the end of the first episode. Absolutely loved that, and then that kind of started the whole show, really. That's what created all these other things to happen. But then things started to change quite a bit for her, obviously, after Viserys decided to marry Alicent, which was her best friend at the time. So it just created a lot of conflict between everyone, and I think they were great. I think those were great scenes. She is fantastic in the role. Millie Alcock, she did a great job. So I think I'm gonna have to just put her in extremely entertaining. Obviously, she didn't get to that level of GOAT just because we didn't get to see enough of her in that version, and I don't think she becomes such a wonderful character until she gets to her new version, played by Emma Darcy. And yes, older Rhaenyra is going in GOAT for sure. Fantastic character all throughout, and I expect this character to last till the end of the series. I don't know whether they're going to kill her off or not in the end, because here's the thing, I don't know any book spoilers. I don't want to know any book spoilers, and now we know that this show is going to be 4 seasons. They've confirmed they're going to end it at the 4th season. I think it could potentially end with her dying. I do think she will probably take the throne slightly for a certain period of time, but I don't think she's going to keep it forever, because that wouldn't, or obviously she wouldn't keep it forever, but you know what I mean? I don't think she's going to keep it for a long period of time, because in what we know of Game of Thrones, I just don't think it would make sense, considering they never talk about that in Game of Thrones, at least as far as I'm aware. So I don't think she's going to ever get to the throne, like officially, at least for a long period of time. But the way her character has been for the past, especially season 2, I think she's been fantastic. She is obviously driven by a lot of things. A big part of it is, you know, she had a lot of love for her father, and because her father wanted her to be in the position of heir, she believes it is her duty. And then obviously after hearing the Song of Ice and Fire story, like, she believes this is her duty. She has a very strong motivation towards it. And then as they get further into this war and just, you know, people dying on both sides, especially after she lost her son Luke, that completely shifts her motivations to not just being based on her feeling like she needs to do this. It's also now personal, and I think those stakes are so well written and so interesting, and Emma Darcy does an absolutely fantastic job in the role. So gotta say, GOAT character right there. And of course, we have Alicent, which we do have both versions of her, of course. And it's some insane casting still, because I don't know how they were able to make both of these actresses. They look identical. I mean, they did a good job with Millie Alcock and Emma Darcy as well, but holy shit, like they look like the same person. I don't know, it's insane. But younger Alicent, I'm gonna say, she had an interesting position in the show for sure. Like I said, she was forced to she was forced to get into the marriage with Viserys, and completely shifted how she was. Completely shifted her life. But having a father like Otto, who's obviously not a good father, but he cares about Alicent, but he's not. He's a father. He cares about her in a very different way than like a good father would someone like Viserys, at least in most cases. So I don't know. I really like her early scenes, but I wouldn't say she's fantastic necessarily. So I'm probably just going to put her as a pretty good character. She's fine. But then we get to the older version of Alicent. Obviously, she's a GOAT. Obviously, I mean, it's kind of hard not to say that. I mean, there's been so many. Honestly, I'm going to go as far as to say I like Alicent more than Rhaenyra. Which, I'm not going to rank them all within their tiers. I usually just rank like the top ones within the tiers, but I guess now we'll try to rank them within the tiers. Alicent's obviously one of the best characters in the show for me. I feel like she's gone through so much, and I really, really like the whole misunderstanding thing that they did with her character, because she obviously really believed that she was right. And at a certain point in season 2 where she realizes, no, she's not actually right. And I think she understood that, but she just didn't want to admit it. She didn't want to come to terms with it. She was so far into this already. She had to stick with it. And she cares about her kids. She cares about her family. She cares about all of that, to the point where she's willing to go to war for it. But then comes end of season 2, at least even the beginning or the middle of season 2, she started to shift, where she started realizing, like, we can't be doing this. And it's just the awful stuff she was seeing, the awful stuff she was, all of it. It was terrible, especially after what happened to Aegon. So she decides that she just wants out of this. She wants out of this situation, and she ends up going to Rhaenyra in the finale of season 2, letting her know that, like, okay, I just don't want to be part of this anymore. I'm just gonna go off on my own, and I'm hoping we can figure something out. And she didn't even care anymore if she took the throne. So really, really deep character motivations for Alicent, and Olivia Cooke just does such a good job with the role. So gotta give her that S tier, top tier. She definitely deserves it. Another person that deserves that top tier is, of course, Viserys, and I feel like I want to put him even above them, but I mean, it's so sad that we're never going to see him again in that role. Well, I guess we technically saw him for an episode in the visions with Daemon, but he's just so good. He was such an interesting king, where he was probably one of the better kings we've seen throughout Game of Thrones universe. He probably is the best king, actually, because I feel like he had the most passion, I don't know about the most passion, but the most care, the most compassion, that's the word I meant to use, for others. And when he started to get really sick, really poor health, he was still giving a damn amazing performance. Paddy Considine did a great job with that. But like, just every interaction he has with, whether it's his family or even just other characters like Otto, everything just feels so purposeful and interesting. And I actually heard from some of the book readers that Viserys wasn't nearly as good in the books, which is interesting, that they were able to make his character so much better for the show. Because I feel like a lot of book readers usually say that the show versions aren't as good as the books, but he was like the one where everyone says he is better in the show. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, he's fantastic, and he definitely is what made season 1 as good as it was. Next, we got Aemma, I think's her name. Aemma, or is it Emma? It's Viserys's wife, well, ex-wife. So, I mean, she was only in one episode. She didn't really have many scenes, so it's really hard to give her a decent rating. I'm just gonna have to say I don't really care. Even though she was fine, like it's one of those characters where they have a lot of characters on this tier list. I didn't make this tier list, so I wouldn't have added a lot of these characters because I just wouldn't know what to say about them, and she's one of those characters. She had a great scene though. I absolutely loved the scene when she was giving birth. I think the way they were portraying it, showing how difficult and painful that process can be, especially given the circumstances, and having other decisions decided for her. Like, they did a lot of good things with her there, but I can't say I cared enough about her characters because we didn't see enough of her. Then we got the crab feeder. Was it the crab feeder? That was the name of this character. It wasn't much of a character, to be honest. So as much as this character was really cool, like is cool enough to call it a good character. That's kind of the thing. I don't know, but there was definitely a level of intrigue there. I was so invested in who this person was, but they just didn't go far enough with it. They didn't do anything else with it, so I can't really give much of a high rating there. All right, so now we have Eric and Eric. Yeah, I don't know the difference between them, to be honest. I always get the names mixed up. Obviously, I know the difference between the characters, but I mean, like, I get the names mixed up, so I forget which one aligns with which character. Regardless, I think they're both about the same, to be honest. I thought they were cool. I liked them, but I feel like they didn't. Once they started actually getting development is when they decided to kill them off. So I can't really say I care that much about them, but they were still decent though. Like, I wouldn't put them on this level. I feel like they deserve to be called a pretty good character, right? They do. Especially that ending they had, I thought was pretty cool. I gotta say I liked it, but I wish they showed more of them before killing them off. I think that would have been nice. And next we got Aegon. So of course we do have the younger version of Aegon and the older version. Now I don't know if there's like the baby version or like I don't know if they do. I mean, I'm not gonna recognize the baby version of Aegon, so we're just gonna put him whatever. Younger version of Aegon, obviously extremely reckless, terrible person. He's a terrible person. He's kind of a terrible person all around. But the younger version, again, only like 2 episodes with him. We didn't really see too much, and I wouldn't say I really cared much. So I'm probably just gonna put him here. But when we get the older version, I don't know the actor's name, but I love his portrayal of Aegon. He's so good. He's going and go. He is such a good actor, and especially in season 2 in those first 4 episodes. Now that he's burnt, he's had less scenes to do, but those first 4 episodes, fucking loved it. And what happened with him in episode 4 was so well done. So I have to give Aegon that top tier. He's just that good of a character. He's just so interesting. Every interaction he has, like, I liked how in the episode 1 of season 2, when he's talking with the people of King's Landing, he's almost kind of giving them like hope in a way. Like, he's saying, oh yeah, you know, if they want their sheep, they can get their sheep. Like, he was saying stuff like that, and then Otto's kind of telling him like, oh no, you shouldn't be doing that. And I like how he ends up going against Otto later on in the season, and even basically firing him, and then getting Kristen to be the new hand. So I thought that was really cool. But in general, great character. Gotta love him. And they got Aemond, and younger Aemond I actually think is a lot better than younger Aegon. I mean, Aemond had the whole thing with his eye getting sliced, and then, you know, riding Vhagar. So I'll probably put him in as a pretty good. He's a pretty good character for sure. I don't know if I can't go as far as to say extreme entertaining. Again, he was only 2 episodes, but he was still fine. He didn't give as much of a lasting impact as someone like young Rhaenyra did. But older Aemond is also GOAT. He is like one of the prime villains in this show currently. He's definitely one of the scariest characters. He's one of the most threatening. And obviously a big part of that is his dragon Vhagar. If he didn't have Vhagar, he wouldn't be that scary, to be honest. But with that dragon, he can do a lot of damage. And we saw what he can do in episode 4. And it was insanely cool. Even just from season 1, I thought he was a fantastic character, but he got a lot better over time, and absolutely loved what they did with him in season 2. And I think he's one of the main characters I'm most interested to see the direction they go with him in season 3, because at this point it's like he is the main if they take him out, like, it's a huge change in the war. Absolutely huge, because he's the one who's controlling Vhagar. No one else is going to be able to control Vhagar, at least currently. So if he dies, like, they don't have shit, you know. So the Greens don't have shit. So he's a really important character. I'm gonna put him even above Aegon, but yeah, I absolutely loved this character and can't wait to see more of him. So next up we got Helaena, and I don't know where young Helaena is on here. It might be her over here. I don't know, to be honest. And so whenever I put her, she's just gonna go and who are you? Because if I don't recognize them, I'm putting them in there. Simple as that. So that means the younger version of Helaena just wasn't that important, if we're gonna be honest. She really wasn't in the show much. But Helaena, at her current stage, extremely entertaining, to be honest, which I was not expecting to put her there. I honestly don't know where I put her at the end of season 1. I forget which tier I put her in. Definitely was not that high. But after season 2, especially the first episode, seeing just her reaction to what happened to her son, like, that was a gut-wrenching moment, and ever since then she's had a lot of great scenes with Alicent. She's had that scene with Daemon in the finale where she's like basically speaking to Daemon through these, she can basically see the future, which is really interesting about this character. And then the way she kind of like lets people know about it, but like in weird like riddles almost. It's really interesting. I really like this character, and I hope to see even more of her in the future, but she's fantastic thus far. Next up, we have Corlys, which I feel like this is a character that I'm expecting to go up in this tier ranking more than anyone, but currently I'm just going to say extremely entertaining because he is fantastic. He's a great character. I just feel like there's so much more that they can do with him, especially after what happened to Rhaenys. I feel like you can do a lot more with him, and they seem like they're doing that. We seem like we're going to be getting a battle on the sea next season, and I think they're going to have some really cool scenes there. But he's a character that I've expected to die quite a few times leading up until this point, so I'm surprised he's still standing. But I'm happy to see him still standing because he's great. And here we have his brother, which I recognize him, but I don't really care about him too much. He was only in like 1 or 2 episodes, so I don't know, not much to say about him. Rhaenys, though, she's a GOAT. After episode 4, come on. You can't not put her in GOAT after what she did in episode 4. That was one of the most badass moments. I probably would have put her in extremely entertaining if she didn't have that moment in episode 4. But that death, the way they handled it, it was perfect. Literally a perfect moment. Just beautiful. Everything about that was beautiful. I loved it, and this character, just everything that she represented leading up until this point, she was just fantastic. She always had so many great scenes, such great dialogue as well, even just in this season alone. So yeah, easily gonna put her there. So next we have Baela and Rhaena. Now I don't recall which ones are the younger versions of them, so I'm just gonna rank. I feel like I do know. Because you can kind of tell by the hair a bit, but just for the sake of I don't know, I'm gonna have to put them in Who Are You? I have to. I believe this has got to be young Laena, right? But again, I can't, like, if I don't know for sure, I have to put her there. They didn't really do much when they were younger. We didn't have many scenes with them, but as the older versions of them, Laena, I'm gonna put in. She had such a fantastic scene in episode 6 of season 1, but like, I don't think I cared. I don't think I cared enough. But Baela and Rhaena, pretty good characters. They haven't had enough scenes though. That's the thing. I feel like they also haven't had enough scenes. They haven't really been in the show enough. They're doing something interesting with Rhaena here where she's attempting to catch that dragon, and she's probably going to try to tame it. Would be curious to see that. Hopefully that can happen. But Baela, she has had a couple good conversations with Jacaerys, but that's about it. So I don't know. I don't think she's that great. But we also have Laenor, younger version and the older version. I'm a younger version. I'm gonna say don't really care, but older version, he was solid. And this means a lot because if I'm putting him in the extremely entertaining tier, that means he gave a solid impression because he was only in like 2 episodes. So that's huge. The fact that I'm putting him there, even just from being only in 2 episodes. So got to give a lot of respect to Laenor. I would love to see him again because he was a great character, but he also got a happy ending, relatively. I don't know, not extremely happy, but he did go off on his own. He did what he wanted. So I would say, as much as I want to see him again, I think it was a fitting ending regardless. Now, just like with Baela and Rhaena, I can't tell which one's the younger Luke or Jacaerys. I think this is young Jacaerys, right? And this is Luke. The faces line up a little bit more. So yeah, regardless though, I feel like I recognize them, but I'm going to put them in don't really care because they didn't do much as kids. But older versions, Jacaerys? Oh man, that's a hard one. I'm going to say, does he deserve the GOAT tier just yet though? He's had a lot of great moments, especially with Rhaenyra. He's doing a lot of great stuff for the cause as well. I loved the scene at the Twins. That was one of my favorite scenes. But does he deserve the GOAT tier? I'm going to say no, not yet. He's going to earn it though. I think he's going to earn it, but he has not got it yet. Lucerys though, or Luke. Yeah, he's also hasn't had that much to do, but his death was so fantastically done that I feel like he deserves pretty good, right? Right. I feel like when you get a death like that, you deserve, you get more credit in my book. You get more credit. And of course we got Daemon now. He's definitely going in GOAT tier, probably around here. I feel like season 2, a lot of people were criticizing the scenes with him. getting these visions in Harrenhal, and people were saying it's getting kind of boring, but I don't think it was ever boring. I do think some of it did go on for a little longer than maybe we needed to see, but I still love the character. I think he's fantastic, and I'm excited to see more of him, especially now that he's pledged to Rhaenyra fully. I don't know if I 100% trust it, but I feel like after what's, he saw, the fact that he basically saw the end of, like, he saw when winter was coming, he saw the White Walkers, all that. To me, that tells me that he's going to be a very different character going into season 3, and I think that's important. He's funny too sometimes. Like he's just got a lot of comedic lines that aren't even really intentionally funny, but they somehow end up being really funny. So yeah, he works on all fronts for me. He's also just badass. Matt Smith is just really cool. So he's just one of those characters. But I do like the back and forths with Rhaenyra based on whether or not he wants the throne for himself or whether or not he's just going to pledge to her. And I think learning or realizing what the crown did to Viserys was a lot for him. Hearing that from him in those visions, I think part of that also led to him deciding he's just going to pledge to Rhaenyra fully. So I don't know. All that stuff is really good. He's a really interesting character for sure. Then we got Sir Harwin Strong. This dude was in one episode, but he gave a lasting impact. I mean, he's also, of course, the biological father of Jacaerys and Luke. And yeah, can I call him a pretty good character though? I don't know, man. One episode, but like his face is so like familiar because his role in the story is so huge. But I don't know, man. Any higher than that seems kind of weird for a character that was just there for one episode. I'm gonna put him there. I feel like if I like him that much just from one episode, he deserves it for sure. Criston Cole. Ooh, Criston Cole is awesome. I feel like this character is underrated, which is weird to say, but I feel like because he's obviously an asshole, a lot of people hate on him more than I feel like the character deserves, because the character himself is great. It's just he's obviously, written to be a kind of a jerk quite a bit, but he's not like a psychopath. He's just kind of like a dude that's just felt rejected by Rhaenyra and then just wanted to take it out on her for a while. But that's not like his only motivation, though. I feel like there's more complexity to this character. A lot of it is negative complexity, but it still is complexity. So I'm gonna say for now, extremely entertaining. I don't know if I can put him in GOAT tier though. At the very least, he's at the top of extremely entertaining though. And next up we have Lyonel Strong, and I actually really like this character for quite a bit. Obviously he was the Hand for a little bit, and that didn't really last that long, but he was great. I really enjoyed the character, and I just don't know if I can put him that high though. I feel like he deserves to be aside. Harwin. I feel like they're kind of similar. Obviously part of that being part of the same family, but still, like, he's just, they were around for a similar amount of time, and I feel like had a similar impact on me just in terms of their portrayals. So I like them. But Larys Strong, he's extremely entertaining. He's a creep and a half, but he is extremely entertaining, and I love the scheming. This kind of he reminds me of like Littlefinger in a lot of ways, like a Littlefinger, Varys sort of a character who's just like very just sneaks around scheming all the time, and I don't know, that's really entertaining to watch. I love characters like that, so definitely deserves that tier. And we got Sir Harold, and I don't really care, man. I'm sorry. I hate to do it to you, but I just don't really care. I know your name, but I don't really care too much. Alice, I think's her name. Elise, she's fine. I wouldn't say she's pretty good. I like her scenes with Daemon. I think her only scenes have been with Daemon really, but she's very eerie. She's a very eerie character, but I don't think I can put her that high right now. Again, she's one of those characters that could definitely move up over time, but right now, I just don't care enough to put her much higher. I'm realizing it's kind of unfair for me to put her here if I feel like I definitely do know that that's young Laena, so I'm gonna put her here because this is for the people who if I can't tell. I honestly can't tell who's who. No, maybe it's not fair for me to put them there. I feel like I could tell with just searching it up. I just don't remember. I don't know, whatever, we'll leave it for now. But Mysaria, I mean, she's been pretty solid this season, actually. I like her new position in the story, being essentially a part of Rhaenyra's council in a different sense, of course, but she's solid. I'll probably run pretty good. I don't think she's quite on the level of being extremely entertaining, but she's pretty good. I like her role. She's definitely better than she was in season 1, that's for sure. And we got Hugh Hammer, right? That's his name. He's awesome. Ever since those last 2 episodes of season 2, ever since he got that dragon, you gotta put him in extremely entertaining. I mean, I want to see more of this character. I'm expecting obviously to see a lot more of this character, but that was a phenomenal scene, everything about it. So yeah, he deserves that. I like his role as becoming a a dragon rider after being just, you know, a small folk in King's Landing. That's a cool arc for him. His wife, though, I feel like I just don't really care at this moment. I don't really know enough about her. She's just kind of there, but you know, whatever. Can't put her much lower than that. I wouldn't put her in the you suck category. Like that would make no sense. Next up, we got Otto, which I feel like I've been missing Otto. We haven't seen him in a while. But I feel like he's obviously going to be an extremely entertaining character. I forget where I put him in season 1. I might have put him in S tier in season 1. I just don't remember. But I feel like over time, he's kind of just, he's still a solid character. Don't get me wrong. He kind of is a schemer in a lot of ways, but he's also just always wanting power, as many characters do. And a lot of it has to do with just his devotion to his family. And that's a big part of why he's trying so hard to get Aegon to stay king, obviously. And I don't know, I like ever since season 1 how he was pushing, not that it's a good thing that he did this. I mean, for the story's sake, I like the whole pushing Alicent to marry Viserys, so then of course his family lineage will have a lot more power. And obviously that makes sense for this character. Again, it's fucked up, but it's entertaining in terms of the universe. And I think, you know, characters like that are always trying to scheme, again, just like Lars, I think are entertaining. To go along with the Dragon Riders, I gotta put Ulf on here as well. He's got to go right next to Hugh. I feel like, you know, we haven't seen a lot of him yet. Again, I expect them to go up over time, hopefully, but I feel like even just from one episode, they were so fun to watch. And even in the finale, every scene these two were on screen, I was just loving it. So I want to see more, but for now, yeah, those are good characters. Yeah, extremely entertaining even. No, you know, I don't know. I feel like there are characters I'm expecting to get to this point. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm like preemptively putting them higher than they should be. I'm actually going to put him in pretty good character. I'm going to put him at the top, though. I feel like he didn't have as much to do as Hugh did, and he wasn't as badass as Hugh. He's just funny, though. No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm putting him up there. He's funny. I like him. I'm putting him there. I don't care. Who gives a shit? That was my first instinct. I might as well stick with it. All right, then we got some characters here I can't even recognize. Was this Otto's brother? No, it might have been. I don't remember him, to be honest. I have to put him there. If I don't remember him, I'm putting him there. Simple as that. Don't know his name, but this is the, what do you call it? The Maester. He's fine. I mean, I feel like there's some good scenes with him, but I feel like it's hard. Like he's very much in a position of just being the Maester. You know, I feel like we haven't learned much about him, so it's hard to say I can really rate him that highly. Here we have Gwaine Hightower. I like him so far. I'll put him up here. Haven't seen enough of him, but he's cool. Here we have Adam, right? He's a new Dragon Rider as well. I would say he's solid. Should I put him in pretty? I'm putting the top of pretty good. And maybe below Mysaria. I feel like he's again, just like Hugh and Ulf, I feel like he's going to get up higher as the seasons go along, because obviously he's a fucking Dragon Rider now. He's going to be awesome. He's going to have a lot to do in the story, and I can't wait to see that. And now that we put Adam, we might as well also put Alan, which Alan had a fantastic scene in the season 2 finale. And so for that, I'm going to put him as a pretty good character, honestly, right next to Adam. No, a little bit lower, probably below Eric and Eric. Yeah, that looks good. Next, we got Tyland and Jason Lannister. I feel like I want to like these characters, but I don't know. They don't really I just don't care that much about them, to be honest. Like, they're there, and I like the actor. He's fun to watch, but I don't care about the character right now, you know? I swear I don't recognize this guy. I feel like I should, but I don't. I'm sorry. I recognize this guy, though. He was in episode 5 of season 1. Don't really care enough to put him higher. Oh, this is a Carl, right? He was Laenor's love interest in season 1. They went off together. Don't really care about him, but you know, he was there. He was cool. I liked him for that one episode, but I don't know. We don't know enough about him. You know, it's just one of those things. Again, some characters, if I don't recognize them, they're probably just people on the council, and they have probably had less than 10 lines of dialogue in the whole show. Is this Daemon's ex-wife right here? I mean, I don't really care about her, but I believe that's who that is. Oh god, there's a lot of characters I just don't recognize, man. I'm sorry. Like, maybe I should be. Yeah, there's a lot of characters I'm just going to be putting kind of low here. Like, I recognize these characters, but like, I just don't remember them. Or I don't care about them enough to put them higher or to even say much about them. And if I don't recognize them, they're just, yeah, they're going here. Again, there's a lot of them like that. Is this young Helena right here? I forget, to be honest. I don't know. Like, I'm just going to put her there because I don't remember. This guy I don't remember. This guy, there's a lot of like just older dudes that I just don't remember. Like, Like they definitely haven't had much lines of dialogue if I don't remember them. Like, who are these people, bro? Like, what the fuck? I recognize this face. I can't put a name on it or like much of anything. I'm sorry. Blood and Cheese, I remember. They I don't really care about, but they were there. Obviously they're brutal characters. They had a really brutal scene, but yeah, Blood and Cheese, whatever. Cregan Stark, you know, he was in it for 5 minutes and I really liked him, which is weird. 5 minutes to say a character's that good. I hope to see more of him in this show. I really do. I'm gonna put him at the very bottom of pretty good. I know he was literally for 5 minutes, but he was that good in the 5. Maybe I just really wanted to see a Stark. Maybe that's why I liked him, but I'll put him there. Oh, what the? I don't know, man. I don't know half these characters. I'm sorry. I know her. No, I recognize her. I'm putting her there. She was the one sent by Rhaenyra and Mysaria to go back to King's Landing. And here's a lot of the kids when they were younger. I don't recognize them. She was one of the Aarons, right? From the Eyrie, but don't really care about her. These are some of Aegon's friends, I think. These characters just, they don't leave a lasting impact. Oh, this was Oscar, right? Don't really care, but he had a good scene in the finale. So I feel like, again, these are other characters that they could become better. They could. It's just right now, I just don't care much. More characters I don't remember. I remember this guy's face, but like I'll put him there. Oh, Simon Strong, dude. Simon Strong was dope. I like Simon Strong. I'm putting him in pretty good. He was a fun character. He had a lot of good scenes. I don't know. He was fun. I know this guy, but again, don't really care. This is the woman that Aemon was sleeping with, right? Don't really care though. Just right now. Wait, they put Aegon while he's burning on this tier list? How does that make any sense? I can't even rate that. Like, how do you rate that separately? He's the same person. Well, I guess a lot of these are the same person. But this is different because they're playing a different actor years apart. But this is not that far apart from the other Aegon. I can't rate him. It doesn't make any sense. This is a brand new character. I'm forget their name, but I'm gonna say currently I don't know if I care, but I'm intrigued. And I feel like it's again one of those spots. It can go higher. It can definitely go higher. But currently, can't really say much more. We have a lot of dragons here now. Now the trouble is going to be recognizing the dragons. Obviously, this is Vhagar right here. Vhagar is very, very, very easy to point out, and that's obviously a goat dragon right there. Caraxes is a goat dragon as well. Wait, that is Caraxes, right? Wait, no, is it not Caraxes? Is this Caraxes? Maybe this is Caraxes. Fuck, man. These are small pictures. They're easier to tell apart when they're bigger pictures, but honestly, I'm put both of them in goat because I think one of them's the one that Ulf came across, right? Oh wait, I'm so stupid. This is Meleys, right? The one on the right. This is not okay. That's Meleys. Yeah, you know, she deserves. I don't know the genders of the dragons. I'll say they because I don't know the genders of dragons. Goated dragon though, absolutely. After what happened in the Rook's Rest battle, that was holy shit. Yeah, definitely deserving of goat. But so does Caraxes. So putting both of them up there. I believe this one right here is Vermax. This is Jace's dragon, right? This is honestly, we haven't really seen much of Vermax in action, I feel like. So I don't really care currently. Maybe I will eventually though. Is this one Silverwing or am I mistaken? The one that's in the Vale right now, the Eyrie? I don't know. Don't really care currently, but I think that might be. This is definitely one of the bigger ones. I don't know if it's Vermithor though. I don't know. Oh, this is the one that Ulf came across, right? They're both huge, so they're definitely pretty good. They gotta be high up, right? They're fucking huge. The huge ones are always cool. I want to say Syrax is one of these two. I know Syrax has like a yellowish tint, but I don't think Syrax is this yellow though. So I'm gonna say Syrax is this one. We'll say pretty good currently, I guess. I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm just gonna have to put them in here because I just don't remember which dragons are which. I can't tell based on these photos. I mean, seeing a whole video is different, seeing them in action is different, but based on the photos, hard to tell. So this is my completed tier list here of all the House of the Dragon characters currently. It's kind of cut off screen a little bit, so I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. There we go. So now you can see the full thing. Oh, you still can't see it? What? There we go. Now you can actually see everyone on the tier list at once. This is basically everyone. There's nobody in the you suck tier. No one sucks in this show, if we're being honest. I don't think there's any bad characters, no poorly written ones, just a lot of entertaining characters. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I will see you guys all in my next one. Peace out.